And now,
the older you get, the more somethings there is.
Always something.
It's not even something anymore. It's just everything.
It's everything.
Hey y'all, my name is Denasia and I'm a 24-year-old type A black girl from Las Vegas. I currently live in Jersey, working as a corporate girly in the beauty industry.
Hey y'all, my name is Faith and I'm a 25-year-old type A black girl from AZ, living in Denver, working as a corporate girly in tech.
When it comes to life, it's literally always something, especially as a type A black girl.
No matter what area you're in, Girl Talk always makes it better.
Get ready to enjoy an hour of us yapping about friendships, relationships,
and things we've learned along the way as type A black girls. Hope you enjoy.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Hi everyone, welcome to season 10 of Type A Black Girls.
We are so excited to be with y'all. This is our last episode filming
in person
for the year.
Yeah.
So it feels like a grand finale, which is good because we have a very special guest today.
Amazing.
So you want to start off with classroom announcements?
Yes. So definitely for classroom announcements, please subscribe to our Patreon. It's less than a coffee, and I know y'all get coffee at least
$3
a week. $3. Okay.
Okay.
It's all the tea that we can't spill without a paywall. It's our Tokyo and Tanzania and Zanzibar itineraries. It's all of the behind the scenes of any of the crazy stories you've seen, but we can't post them because we just can't. Very incriminating, but it's against the paywall. If you want to have some girl chat, you have a dilemma, anything like that, definitely subscribe or go to our link tree on our Instagram to go to the group me, and we talk about the books in the book club. Any of your dilemmas that you have that you don't want to send to the free suggestion box, but you're like, I need the answer now. The girlies are going to be your free therapists in there. Now, if you can't wait for the advice, go ahead and send a question or dilemma or comment to the free suggestion box. And what am I missing? Subscribe.
Our DMs are also always open.
Always open for any other girlies, any advice. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Honestly, we were begging for 100 and we're almost at like 350. So I'll take it. So let's get up to 5. I'll say 1K.
Yeah,
let's get up to 1K.
Yeah.
We're almost at 1K. By the time you look back on Instagram, we'll probably hit 1K because we're having a very viral reel right now. So that's the goal. Hit 1K honestly definitely by season 10.
No,
okay?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But let's hit 5K. So subscribe, follow our Instagram, follow our TikTok because we're really about to be up season 10. Okay. Yeah. You're going to see about our guests. We up season 10. So I think, and please rate on Spotify and leave us a review on Apple Podcast and comment anywhere you see our faces because it helps with the engagement.
Yeah.
But moms, you want to go ahead and you want to intro our guest?
Yes. So as you guys can see, we have a guest today, and we're also in a new setting. You guys never seen us on this couch.
Yes.
So we're very happy to have Les here. You guys have probably recognized her. I feel like a lot of the Black Girl podcast universe, like all the girlies know who is who.
Yeah.
But please welcome Les. She is the host of Balanced Black Girl. So she's our guest for today. She started Balanced Black Girl back in 2018 as a podcast and blog centered around the experiences that Black women face in wellness. Your podcast provides a platform that effortlessly connects individuals with experts. You have a lot of gurus that know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Most time we just be guessing.
Yeah.
And a supportive community.
Boasting over 1,000 5-star reviews, period, and millions of downloads,
period.
The podcast is such a hub for discussions on everyday health, self-care, exercise, she be exercising, and personal development. And we are huge fans ourselves. Les appreciates wellness, holistically recognize the interconnectedness of emotional, physical, social, and spiritual aspects in enhancing overall well-being. So let's welcome Les.
Thank you so much. That was such a nice introduction.
Thank you.
Of course. We've been going through some trials and tribulations this week. And honestly, our producer Tiana was like, you should reach out to Balanced Black Girl last season. But we were just ripping and running, working and sleeping. We were like,
you're just
real.
Moving. No, literally. We completely forgot that Tiana said that. But we were so happy when she said it. But
because we were like, we exist.
No,
we listen to you.
No, facts. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like the fact that like some of our guests that come on are like, oh yeah, listen, like me and Denasia are having aneurysms. Like,
no, we're tweaking. We seem calm, but we're actually tweaking out.
Yeah. So Tiana was like, oh, have you reached out to Balanced Black? And we're like, oh, we completely forgot. And she's like, let's see if she has a slot. And she has a slot, as you see today.
This exact time.
Yes.
And it worked out perfectly because she has her flight tonight.
Yeah.
We've been moving all week to get this done. So thank you again for coming on.
I'm so glad it worked
perfect.
out.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
No, it was very type B. It was not type A.
No,
The way we got you on, but we
type
appreciate it.
Yes. So let's go ahead and do Starro Udit.
Oh, yeah. let's do our outfit of the day.
Yes. So today I've been wearing white flats the whole week, but got some black flats.
Switched it up.
Okay. It was a two for like maybe like $70 in Japan. And I was like, I've been wanting some ballet flats real bad. But I also got this at the bins. Like this whole week I've been wearing stuff from the bins. I love me some Goodwill bins. It feels like the Hunger Games. It's fun. And then this I got from Fashion Nova actually from on sale. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that. $8. Yeah. What about you, moms?
I have this skirt from Pretty Little Thing, this top from Pretty Little Thing, and then Nike Dunks.
Period.
Very simple.
What about you, Les?
I got this dress from Mango.
Oh,
I love Mango too.
Never
These
used
shoes are Tory Burch. I'm all
Love.
about comfort. And then the earrings are Princess Polly.
Oh, okay, I was gonna ask about the earrings. Those are cute. I'm like, that needs to be.
I
in my
love a
cart.
statement earring.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
literally.
yeah, pop.
Love down.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you really don't gotta do too much.
Exactly.
it's
I
gonna
like
pop.
to just
Whole
keep it
look
simple.
together.
Yeah,
Right.
honestly, your
Statement
earrings
earring.
walked to the door before I saw you.
No,
Yeah.
no, literally. That's
I
the
was like,
first thing I said. I said, I like them earrings.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
But let's get right into the question of the week. So, Les, I know you're all about wealth and wellness and stuff, but I was like, let's get to the other side of Les. So, after a night out, what do you need or do or need to do to feel like a regular human again?
Definitely got to hydrate. I'm a
Mhm.
big electrolytes girly. So usually
Same.
before going out, I'll prepare, like my tumbler with cold water and electrolytes. And I'll put
Yes.
it on my nightstand to be waiting for me when I got home. So
Yes.
it's like,
Yep.
get home, shower, makeup off, electrolytes. I got to just like wash it all off.
Yeah.
Freaking
Yeah, literally. You guys know I'm the poster child for liquid IV, so that's
Truly.
literally my go-to all the time. Also, I need something like salty. Like if I wake up,
We got to get you try an Element. Those are my favorite electrolytes, and they're like salty
Element,
sweet.
it's salty.
Yes,
Oh,
it's so
is
good.
it in a chip form?
No, it's an
think it's a
electrolyte
powder.
mix.
Oh,
But it doesn't have sugar, but it's still salty sweet. It's so good.
Oh, okay. It's called Element. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie,
LMNT. I
The
will
saltiness
have to get you some.
brings me back to life every
Yes,
time.
the like sweet, fruity, salty water after a
Yes.
night out. It like
Oh,
or in this heat, it feels like heaven.
today I could have used that today. I'm not gonna lie.
I should have brought some.
No,
I have so much. I
we
should have
would've
brought
been
some.
having it right here.
Oh my gosh. For me, mine is so like I don't go out often, but like it's let's say like I do and I have energy, I'll take a bath. Like I'm a big bath girl. I love a good bath
Little
bomb.
bomb.
Exactly. Also need to turn on Boss Burgers. Because you know I'm a big Boss Burgers girl. A heating pad every night. That heated pad
No,
is
she does.
plugged
It's
in.
always plugged in. I
Oh.
be like, you not hot? I'm good. I'm a hot sleeper. So I'm like, I be having the leg out on one side. Like,
No, I got the leg
Heating
out. But like
pad.
I'm like cuddling the heating pad, and then I'm an eye mask girl. Honestly, I got like an airport little pillow or whatever, and it came with the eye mask. I'd never slept with the eye mask. I tried it. I said, "Oh, I'm an eye mask girl," and I said, "Oh, okay, it's time to like elevate." So I got one that I could like pinch the nose, so it's like blackout. On Amazon. That's what I'm talking about. I love a good eye mask. Like it really helps me. So that's me. And then I don't really drink that often, but if I do, I'm actually chasing what I drink with liquid
water?
IV. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm like, can I get a
smart.
water? I'll get my packet out of my purse and when we had sangria, I downed the liquid IV before. And
Yeah.
I was good in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was good sangria too.
It was the best sangria.
So good,
Oh,
yeah.
tear it up every time. But today, as you can see by the title, we're
Yes.
talking about how our moms are right. I know my mom is probably listening to this like,
Yeah.
She's telling me this for the past
I don't
23
even know.
years.
Yeah.
But Les, we want to kind of get your perspective also on things that you feel like when your mom said it as a kid, like lessons that she taught you, you were like, okay, whatever, she's just talking. And now as an adult, you're like, oh wait, like she might have been onto something.
Yeah, okay. So, and I don't want to sound annoying, but I was definitely one of those kids that when an adult told me something, I took their word for it.
Oh wow.
So if my mom said something, my dad, my granny or whatever, they said something, I'd be like, okay, I'm not trying to learn myself. I'm not trying to learn from lumps. I'm trying to learn
Oh,
from other
yeah.
people's experiences. That's just always how my brain has worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I didn't necessarily think like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But definitely as I've gotten older, I see why. So I would go
Yeah.
along with it when I was younger, and now I'm like, oh, I get why they said that.
Yeah.
Now I understand. I went along with it, but now I understand.
It's clicking.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
clicking. It's clicking.
I wish I was a little hard headed. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
lie. I was
For
like,
real stubborn. I know what I'm
don't
talking about.
Right. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, this is my life. Like,
Yeah.
let me figure it out. And
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, it doesn't work out when I learned my lesson. And I'm like, okay, she actually was right. But yeah, I feel like I needed to experience things and go through it to be like, okay, now it clicks.
Yeah.
Just not.
Very much. I need to experience it. One of mine is it's always something. My mom would literally be like, it's always something. I'm like, girl, like, let's just live life. Like, I'm
Live
just
life
like,
love.
like,
Loca.
what? Like, what do you mean it's always something? And now,
The older you get, the more
Oh.
somethings there is.
always
It's
something.
not even something anymore. It's just everything.
It's everything. And it's like, you really have to figure out coping mechanisms to get through that, all that
Yeah.
something, all that everything. Like,
Well, I remember that game, and maybe I'm dating myself because I know I'm a little older, whack-a-mole, where it's like you
Oh,
whack
yeah.
it and then another mole pop. That's being an adult. There's
Yeah.
always, it's a bill, it's a this, it's a that. It's, I think people, especially in your 20s, it's like you freak out so much about figuring your life out. And I'm like, as soon as you figure that out, the next mole is
Something
going to pop
else?
up. And so don't
Mm.
even stress yourself.
yes.
Because like your mom said, it's always something.
It's always something, mind you. So like I'm grinding, trying to find another job. Literally, I get my I think my second day of my new job. I'm like, wow, life is so good. Like, it's a little slow because like they're like, oh, you're new, and I'm walking my dog, and a crackhead kicks my dog.
Like, why would you do
What?
that?
Like, it's all like when I tell you, I was literally like living my life like it's golden. I'm walking my dog. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be 5 minutes late. I said, hey, I'm gonna be about 20 minutes late because I'm sobbing. My
Poor
dog is like
are
60
they okay?
years old. No, she was good. She was
Okay.
like, "Meow," and then
Probably just startled. Yeah.
Yeah, scared more than
But
anything.
I was scared. I was so shaken up. I was just like, when I tell you that baby is my baby, even though she's sick, that's my baby. I'm going. I'm literally like, if I could cuss, that would have been the time. That really could be
Yeah.
the time. Like
You would have had a strong one.
Oh, I would have been cussing like a middle schooler, honestly.
Right.
But yeah, it was that was rough. So like,
Like a
truly,
sailor.
okay, there's literally always something. But moms, what's one that your mom said?
My mom would always say you have to work like 10 times as hard to get half the much as recognition as
Mhm.
other people, especially like being a Black girl in all PWI. She was like, you have to be on your P's and Q's because the second you mess up, it's not the same repercussions as if your white classmates mess up or your white coworkers. And like I started understanding that in school, but I feel like it really didn't click till I was working. And I was like, okay, this is my livelihood on the line. Like I really have to be on my grind because if I mess up, it's like you end up losing your job or something like that. Like there's repercussions that are more real than just like doing bad on an assignment.
Yeah.
And I also feel like I see people in corporate get away with so much. And I'm like,
Mm.
I could never. If I did any like quarter of that, it's like I would be pulled into somebody's office, you
Yeah.
know? So I feel like that really clicked as I became an adult. And I was just like, damn, she ate that up. And she still is. Because I feel like I say that to myself. Like going to work and doing stuff, I'm like, yeah, I need to be on it because I can't afford to not to.
No.
Yeah.
You're not a white man. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
unfortunately.
For me, another one is I also understood why she always wanted to meet Thawed. Okay.
Oh,
I work remote. My mom didn't work remote. She was doing like hour and a half commutes. So we get home, I start playing, I start doing my homework, my sister doing their own stuff, and she's coming home and she's like, why isn't the me out? The way, mind you, I didn't know that you could kind of low key almost get salmonella if you're unthawing meat in hot water. I didn't know, but I was
Yep.
like, come on, please.
that's why my mom would be so stringent. She'd be like, take that chicken out.
Yeah.
And then I hear the garage door go up, or I hear her pulling up, and I'm like, that chicken's still in the freezer. Imagine having a long, hard day, and you come home, and the house is dirty, and the chicken not thawed.
And that was multiple
I would
days.
crash out.
I would crash out.
Live.
No, literally. Like, and I understood. Sometimes she'd be like, y'all figure it out. I'm going upstairs. And I
Yeah,
understand
I
that.
get it.
Like right now, even like walking Sydney like 3 times a day, I'm like, girl, you're so needy. But having like a full formed human that you birthed, like even going through birth, ugh, like that scares me.
It's a whole nother
to this
episode.
day. Yeah, no, literally. Like I'm like, Sydney, like girl, and she's like, I'm just like, you don't need to go pee that bad. But I mean, now she do, but it's just like it's just like
No, that's
it's
why I
just-
said I'm getting me a fish. We
Yeah.
gonna start small.
Start small. Even
Start
getting the-
small. Even that.
even that.
Yeah.
But it's like
Get a
You know,
plant.
I had a 10-year-old Nemo.
what?
He made it
10?
that old. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. Because we used to be like, my dad is really into tanks, like fish tanks and stuff. We used to be at the fish tank conferences. They said he was a fish connoisseur and he was gassed for years. So we really used to have tanks. And like my Nemo was a black and white Nemo. And yeah, I lived to be 10 years old.
Wow.
It's that one time there was a power outage and my dad woke up. And this is when I had already moved out. And he texted me, he said, bad news, and sent me a picture of the toilet.
What a sad way to go.
I said, I know that ain't my Nemo in the toilet like that. 10 years old?
Bad news?
Bad news.
With the photo, he couldn't have just said what happened.
Like, come
had to send the
on.
visual?
like I'm looking at a funeral on my phone.
So
Be for
sad.
real. Like, yeah. So I mean, I would get another Black Nemo because I know they have long lives.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
start small.
Start small.
Lesson learned.
No, for real. So if you choose to have kids, what are some lessons that you'll continue to pass on to your kids or your niece or nephews?
That's a good question. I think that I would want to create a safe container for them to be able to make mistakes. Because I think,
Mm.
particularly for a lot of young Black people, especially kind of the messaging you got was like there was so little room for error in everything we did.
Mm.
And I think that there are ways to teach children and young people. Yes, there are consequences for your actions.
Sure.
And I would love if we all felt like we had a little more wiggle room and breathing room as we're
Mhm.
coming of age to stumble and make mistakes a little bit.
That's a big one.
Mm.
I feel like, especially like being oldest sisters, we were kind of the guinea pigs, and it was
Yeah.
like our parents were like, "You, if I mess up on you, who knows what's left for the other two? At least for
Yeah.
my siblings." So I feel like I was always like very, very like I need to be to a T because there is no room for error. But it's like the older you get, the more you realize like this is my first time being this age.
Yeah.
You know, like I've never experienced this before. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I'm giving myself grace, but it's hard in the moment when you're, especially as a parent, you're like, I sacrificed so much. I don't want my child to go down the same path I did or make the same mistakes I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was more so I need to be perfect, so I'm not stressing my mom out more.
That
Because
too.
my mom's a single
Felt.
mom. She dealing with
Yeah.
multiple baby daddies, like trying to get child support. Let me try to take care of my sisters. Like my mom did her best and did a really, really good job, but like juggling church and kids and family and like kind of being the matriarch of her generation, it was just like, you know what? Let me just try my best to just be the best I can. And I will reprimand myself if I feel like I'm not doing good. So I was
Mhm.
my worst critic. Like I was giving myself whoopings in my head. Like you should have known better. Like, no,
Ugh.
like I just,
That
that
was
negative
actually worse than
self-talk.
the whoopings. Or
Worse
them being
it
like, I'm
is.
disappointed in you would do like that would stick with me for way longer than like me getting whooped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can
I-
relate to that so much. I still feel that way. Honestly, I'm in my 30s and I'm still, my parents just have a lot going on. They have a lot stressing them out of the
Yeah.
world. And so I feel like any little thing I do or mess up or even just needing help, like I can't go to them for it because it's going to be another thing that stresses them out.
Yeah.
But then now I'm in therapy and I'm like, oh, girl, let's unpack that. 'cause
That's
That's not
Yeah,
okay.
that's a
You're not
lot.
okay.
No, you
So
should
it's
like
we're all figuring it out.
I feel like we didn't really
Yeah.
have time or a chance to be a child because we decided at a young age, like, it's up to us.
Yep. Putting all that pressure on
Yeah.
your shoulders.
Mind you, my mom really didn't put that pressure on me. I know
Right.
it alleviated parental like struggle for her because my sister was kind of the problem child. But like it was just like, like if you get good grades and you read books all the time and you get in
Stay
these
out of
programs, you
trouble.
stay out of trouble and you try to help your sisters do all their chores on time, like everything will be good.
Yeah.
But there's always something.
Right.
And that always just like I didn't do enough. I don't feel like I'm enough.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not enough. And the
think-
not enough.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
parents don't realize how much kids internalize stuff. And my parents have
Mm.
said things like, you were so easy. You're
So
so
easy.
independent. I'm like, I've been anxious and mentally unwell because
For
all of that is
years.
inside. You
Yeah.
just don't see it because I just stay quiet and do my own thing. I am unwell
Yeah.
for decades.
This head of mine, there's a lot going
If
on.
only you knew.
Oh my god! And you
Gosh.
mentioned like being in therapy. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of therapy also because they're like, I'm perfect, I'm fine, nothing's wrong with me. And it's like you got to unpack why you even feel like that.
Yeah.
Why are you anxious? Why am I waking up and my shoulders are tense? Like constantly.
I'm always got stress up here.
Unclench that jaw.
Anytime I get a massage, it's like, oh, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
we're
bad.
working on it. It's bad.
Get in there.
Yeah, it's rough. Like you don't, especially if you don't have big sister friend to talk to, you don't know that it's not like you can feel affirmed with somebody else. Like talking to Denasia because Denasia's big sister is like, oh, me too. I thought it was just me.
I thought that was just like I'm internalizing all of it. Like this is my problem, and it's like other people feel like that too.
It's a hard not life
It's a
for
lot
big
to-
sisters.
A lot. to
Right.
unpack.
Listen.
Goodness gracious.
real.
But for you, Les, like, what are some lessons you feel like you've learned being in your 30s that you kind of wish you knew in your 20s, or if you could tell yourself something?
That nothing is as serious as I thought it was. In your 20s, you feel like everything is so existential. That relationship is the end of the world. The job is the end of the world. The this, the that. You're comparing yourself to everybody else. Everybody has this. Everybody's going on this trip. Everybody has a better job. And then the older you get, the more you realize, like, who cares? You are the only person living your life. A lot of the milestones and things we feel like we should do aren't necessarily real. I think your 20s is one decade of your life that, Lord willing, we all hopefully get several decades.
Yeah.
And people put so much pressure on themselves to pack 5 decades worth of life into this one decade that's really your first decade as an adult. Half the time, your brain's not even fully developed. You don't know what you're doing. You're broke. And you're expecting yourself to have 5 decades worth of life in this like 5 years that you have a fully developed brain? Because the first half of your 20s are just kind of a wash because who knows what's even going on.
Who are you telling?
Day by day.
So really, you cut that down, you get about 5 years, and people put so much pressure on themselves to figure out all this stuff that it literally does not actually make sense to have the answer to. And so I think I treated my 20s like a time to really beat myself up over what I have and haven't done. And I wish I would have given myself permission to just live and experiment a little bit more
In the moment.
and to have more experiences and to focus more on lived experiences.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You just read us for film.
No.
Literally us right now.
We're like, by this time, like,
And-
I,
but it's like,
focused
then
on
what?
that.
So you get the thing, then what?
Right.
You
You're
still have the whole
unsatisfied.
rest of your life.
whole rest of your
And
life.
in 5 years, that thing that you thought that you wanted, that you were stressing out at 25, you're not even going to want anymore by the time you're 30. So then what? You know?
Yeah, we always say we used to have such stringent like plans. Like we would have 10, 15-year plans. Like by 25, I want da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And now it's like we're itching up on that and we're like, we don't have half of that. We realize we don't even want that anymore. It's not
Yeah.
what our 16-year-old selves drafted up. We don't have to stick to that one plan. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
why stick to a plan that you made when you're a kid and you don't know nothing?
Just
What do
guessing.
16-year-olds know? Nothing. Not a thing. They
Nothing.
can't even take the meat out the freezer.
And
What do
it
you
wasn't.
mean? So your 16-year-old self is still calling the shots? She don't know nothing?
And it's so hard. I think we did it like a letter to our 18-year-old selves, and it was
Yeah.
like, girl,
And our 28-year-old
and our 8-year-old selves, like, what does our 5-year plan look like? Or, and we're definitely gonna look back at 28 and be like, girl, what were you talking about?
Right.
Truly, what were you talking about? But it's I think right now I'm about to hit that 2-5, and right now I'm struggling to be okay that my 18-year-old self goals aren't happening. Like, let's be happy that the goals that I have right now for myself, like the quarterly goals I made a few quarters ago, are happening. And it's really hard because some people are living my 18-year-old self goals life, like they're living it out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want that, but my 18-year-old inner child is like,
But do you want
do
it?
you want it?
Questioning yourself.
And it's like, it's hard because I'm like, no, girl, you know what you like. What you like when you're 18, you don't like now that you're 24. But my 18 is like, please, like, let's try to get that. It's like, girl, that's not going to be fun for me. That's
Yeah.
really not going to be fun. So it's just a lot of self-talk with like my younger self. Just, it's kind of mourning who I thought I wanted to be.
Yeah, mourning
It's-
that, and also like talk about so much like we want to please our inner child, and it's a difference between like pleasing your inner child and then also not letting her control everything I want to do in my life right now, because I might not want to do what she thinks I want to do,
Exactly.
but she's still in there.
Yeah, your inner child's worldview is about this big.
Right.
So much of what you even do now didn't exist. Podcasts weren't a thing for your inner
Yeah.
child. She don't even know what that is.
Right.
So worrying about her opinion now is like there's so much available to you now that didn't even exist back then.
Right.
And I think holding ourselves so firm to that just keeps us small.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just between that journal and therapy,
Yeah.
we're working through it. We're working through it.
Man.
But goodness gracious, it's just rough. And it's like, on top of all that, still got to do the pressures of work, still got to do the pressures of like, oh, I haven't talked to my friend in 3 months. Like, and they understand because we're
Right.
all adults. You see what I'm saying?
It's like, are you free in November?
Yeah.
Can we talk then?
No, that's literally what it is. But it's just rough. Like, being a girl, it's just rough
Yeah.
in your 20s. Like, I'm trying. And then you scrolling on Instagram, like, why is everybody in Europe? Like,
App deleted.
No.
Sometimes I'm like, let me just delete the app for a week.
oh yeah.
Like,
Sometimes when I want to take control, and I just feel like I can't control anything, I delete Instagram.
yeah, no, same.
Yeah.
Same.
And they're like, oh, I said that to you. I said, oh, I'm not on Instagram right now.
Haven't seen nothing.
Mm-mm. I just needed some time.
Now TikTok I'm working on because that one is a little bit hard. I'm addicted to that. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
for you, Les, like how do you kind of deal with mourning? Any dreams or things you had, ideas for yourself when you were in your 20s? Now that you're in your 30s too.
It's hard because I feel like in so many ways my life now in my 30s is exactly what my 24-year-old self wanted. And so it's not that I'm necessarily mourning it, it's that I'm realizing I thought I was so behind. I'm realizing things just take longer than I thought.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm behind, it's that what I wanted just took a little longer. It was a longer journey and it was a longer path. And so I really can't say that there's anything that my 20-something self so badly wanted that I don't have now. Because if there is something, that I don't, not saying my life is perfect or I have everything, because that's not true. But I just feel like if I don't have it right now, then I don't need it right now. I'm not ready for it. It's not meant for this current season. I feel like everything I have in this current season is exactly what I need. Where I'm at, what work I'm doing, the people in my life is exactly who needs to be here. And anybody who comes and goes, that will happen during that season. But there's nothing that I don't have right now that I need.
How are you able to like level with yourself, like in your, let's say, mid-20s, like, girl, it's okay to slow down, and when it's meant for me, it'll be for me.
I think a lot of that just comes with lived experience, because I didn't feel like that in my 20s. I didn't feel like that till now. I mean, I think a lot of it comes with living a little bit more life and going through some stuff and realizing like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like there's no rule book for any of this.
And we've said, like we've talked about on the podcast, we call this type A Black girls, and we're becoming less type A because we're like,
that's also a very real phenomenon.
Really?
I've made a joke that I'm type A minus because I feel like that is more of my personality.
I like that.
I'll do just enough, but then I'm gonna still go to bed. Like I can still go to sleep. I can still, be like close the laptop and know when to walk away.
Yeah.
And I really think that that just comes with age.
Yeah.
And one of the experiences that actually really taught me that was I had my first corporate job. I was in charge of this like day-long meeting and presentation that we were supposed to do for this big executive. And it took weeks to coordinate everything and put it all together and hundreds of slides and all these people who are supposed to be presenting. The day of, we got about 10 minutes into this presentation that was supposed to be all day long. The executive we're presenting to gets a call that there's some thing that happened that needs his attention, and he leaves, and that's it. And then it just didn't happen. So this meeting, this presentation that these other people had put all this pressure on me, this is so important, you have to do this, all this pressure, in the blink of an eye no longer mattered. And that was when I realized, oh, all this shit is made up. I don't care about any of this. A job is just a job. I'm going to clock off at the end of the day. Y'all are not going to stress me out. That happened when I was 24. And I think that was that was a huge turning point for me, where I realized people can't stress me out without my consent. None of this is real.
Yep.
So someone telling me that I need to do something or something is important, clearly it's not. If all that work, weeks worth of work in the blink of an eye is no longer important, then I'm not stressing myself out over any of this.
I would have. So I'm thinking about the stuff I be doing day to day, and I'm like, none of this is real.
It's not real.
None of this is
It is
real.
numbers in a spreadsheet.
I wasn't
words
meant
on
to
a
be
slide.
looking at a screen all day. I'm meant to be in a field picking flowers. I'm not meant to do this.
Listen.
That's simple.
Yeah.
Oh. And I think we're getting to that point.
Yeah.
We're
The frontal
getting there.
lobe is developing.
It's
I feel her
slowly-
getting there.
Yeah, slowly but surely, like, it's just not that deep. Like, right now, what's really helping me get day to day is quotes. Like, those little quotes with the little drawings, I'd be like, on TikTok, I'd be like, screenshot, like that.
Girl, I literally put a little Pinterest widget on here. Small
Love
steps
that.
every day. It just changes new quotes every day.
And it helps.
It helps a lot.
And honestly, it's not that deep, and charges to the game, top 2. That gets me through.
Charge of the game might be
Top
top 2, not
you might
2.
need to get a little shirt or something, 'cause-
I might get it tatted.
No, but
It's real.
charge to the game. Like, if you just charge to the game, you just got to keep it pushing. Because if you dwell on it, there were so many times in my first year in corporate where I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I remember I shouldn't have been presenting in my bed, but I was presenting in my bed. And I had a princess bed at the time. And you know how sometimes you share your screen, but it shares the wrong screen. And then I always do full notes on when I present to a PowerPoint, because sometimes I forget. So it's showing all of my notes that I had for the presentation, and then something like malfunctioned. Literally, you saw my princess bed because my
your
my
virtual
background
background.
did stop blurring, and I was just like, I was in my journal like, oh my gosh, like, this is so embarrassing, this is so unprofessional, da da da. I'm like, bro, now looking back, like, if that happened now, I'd be like, well, on to the next meeting. Ugh. And it's really learned
Right.
experience.
And everybody who was there on that meeting has forgotten by now. And in 5 years, like, I promise you, you will forget.
Yeah.
Oh, abso-freaking that was in North Carolina. Now I'm in Denver. Like the life goes on. They're also going to their next meeting. They're probably just being like, oh, Faith just had a malfunction. Cool.
Man, you know what made me realize that? Like now that I'm no longer like in my intern phase, there's interns that are now like my buddies. And I remember one came up to me and was like, "I'm so sorry about what I said earlier. I feel like I was so awkward and da da da." And I was like, "I don't even know. I don't remember what you
I don't
said."
remember. Yeah.
And I was like, that would have been me, like spazzing out over something that I said and like overthinking and replaying it in my head. And whole time, like I didn't even know what she said that was wrong. And I just gave her. I was like, "Listen, as someone that used to be like in your position, like no one's thinking about it that deeply. They got all these things they're worrying about. The last thing they're worrying about is one sentence you said that you're dwelling on. That's not that deep." So
That deep.
and she was like, "Thank you so much." I said, "Girl, listen, because I wish somebody would have told me that
I
before
love
I stressed
mentorship.
myself out."
I love mentoring the
For
new
that
the new
reason.
girlies. Yeah, like, hey girl, like this is like here's a helps with 401k Roth, but also it's not that deep. Do your good work and keep it pushing.
And
Like
don't allow this job to define you either.
don't oh, my first year, I was so and the thing is, I'm glad I did it because in elementary school to middle school to high school, the whole goal was to get a corporate job because I was the corporate sister. I was the school sister. So I did all my things. I'm glad I made it my personality. But now, because I made it my personality, it was just like there was so much stress on me because I'm like, I have to do all the things so my mom can post my accolades on Facebook. That was kind of the thing. Now I'm like, I'll let you know how work is here and there, but like, don't ask me about work after work.
I'm clocked out.
I'm clocked out. Don't ask me how work was. Like, let's talk about what we about to eat for dinner. Like, my oh my gosh, so grown. My husband, he was always like, Faith, if something happens at work, I'll tell you. But like, if not, like, if it's not life altering, I'm not going
I'm
to
not
tell you.
discussing it.
I never understood that concept. Now I'm like, yeah, we don't got to talk about work. I don't
Yeah.
care.
For what reason? Yeah.
For what reason? Like, it's
But that's hard. Like I remember my first year, like I was brand new to New York. I didn't have any friends here. I moved here and it was just like the only thing I had was L'Oreal. Like
yes.
clocking in day to day was the only type of consistency and routine I had, and being very type A, it's like I really needed consistency to feel like secure. Like if my schedule was all over the place, I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't have control over my life." And I was just like, "Bro, I don't know what else to talk about except we had so many work episodes that season.
So many work.
Oh,
episodes.
we were just letting it become our whole personality."
Yeah.
And I was just like, I really don't know who I am outside of like Denasia corporate girl. Because before it was Denasia school.
Schoolgirl.
And it's like, what can I do and who am I outside of like logging on every day? Because if I die tomorrow, my job posting will be posted on Monday.
Yeah.
Like,
And
they
will.
don't care. Yeah.
That's what's going on. Who is Faith outside of working school? Because I'm not going back to school, and now I'm just doing work to get this paycheck. That's what I'm doing. I think that's what the next few quarters of the rest of my 20s is going to be. What the heck does Faith like at her
Yeah.
core? What is Faith like? So I think at your core, who is Les?
Les is just vibing.
That's what I'm
Period.
talking about. Yeah.
doing it for the plot. I'm here to have good experiences. I'm here to hopefully add joy and value to other people's lives, but not make other people's feelings my responsibility. It's always my hope that if somebody interacts with me or works with me or is near me, that they have a positive experience, or I hope to leave a situation better than I found it. But I also can't take other people's, feelings, opinions, what they think I should do. Can they post my accolades? That's just no longer my responsibility. I'm here to exist, to hopefully do more good than harm.
Yeah.
If and when I do harm, because we're all humans, take accountability for it, do better moving forward, and just vibe out. Because the way this country's looking, the way this world is looking, what are we even stressing ourselves out for? Because
Trump's missing an ear right now.
Who knows? I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And we're stressing for what? Like,
yeah. No, literally.
It's hot outside.
Hot.
The climate, it's
Microsoft's down.
right.
But Teams somehow working.
Right. The Teams notification still going off, and we're stressing out for what? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna sound so cheesy, but there's like that Kourtney Kardashian meme where she's like, "My vibe right now is living life," and I've been saying that to myself at least 3 times a day, because people are always like, "What are your intrinsic goals? What is your purpose?" I'm like, my purpose is the vibe.
Yeah.
I'm just here vibing.
That's it.
And doing what
until
makes
I ain't
Les
vibing
happy.
no more.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Period.
Oh, I love that.
Period. So being a girly in your 30s, what are the perks?
you just chill out. Like when
Oh.
I was in my 20s, I was so anxious of like, I have to have my purpose, the perfect job, the perfect boyfriend, I have to do. And you just like, you realize that none of that matters, that you just go through seasons of life and it is what it is. I think your 30s are a fun time because it's like you're still young, but you're like old enough to know better and do better.
Yeah.
And you have a little bit more of a foundation as an adult to like make better decisions, opt into relationships you really want to be in, invest in the friendships that are really important to you, kind of spread your wings a little bit. And it just is a really fun kind of in between time.
Oh, I can't.
Oh,
So excited. 30, flirty, and thriving. I can't wait.
Right.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about.
And you mentioned also like not letting other people's feelings be your responsibility. I feel like we've really learned how to not people please as much.
Ooh, and this
And
year.
This year, like
Yeah.
honestly, last like 6 months,
Yeah.
honestly. And I feel like my mom would always say, like, oh, somebody jumps off a bridge, you gonna jump off with them? And I used to be like, girl, what are you talking? We don't even have bridges around us. Like
No,
I used to take
literally.
things so literal. And I realized like she was kind of getting to the essence of like people pleasing. Like
Yeah.
if someone wants you to do something, are you just gonna do it just to make them happy?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it didn't click until like literally 6 months ago where I was like, I'm doing so many things just to make other people. They probably don't even notice I'm doing it, but I'm
No.
like intrinsically trying to please them by doing things that I don't even want to do. Denasia doesn't even want to do that.
What did Denasia want to do?
What does Denasia want? And oftentimes it's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Which is hard.
That, yeah, I think January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it clicked. And we were like, oh, we've been doing a lot just to. We don't even know if they're noticing how much we're doing to make them happy.
Yeah, half the time we're trying to please people who don't even care.
Don't even
Don't
notice. Oh, that's sick.
It's all of our like I literally every time Denasia comes back from work, especially when she goes in the office, she's like, and that's literally even if like
Yeah.
you work remote, you're just after you get on that get off that last meeting, close that laptop, you're like, and then you're trying to people please. I was exerting so much energy my whole life, and then January hit for both of us. It clicked, and just from there, we've just been really. I've been okay with saying no. And I never thought I'd be there. Like, not feeling bad for saying no, I feel so good.
And not trying to over-explain yourself.
Oh,
I feel
no.
like I over-explain myself so much. And I'm like, no, I can say no, and that's a full sentence.
That's a full sentence.
I don't got to dwell on it. Just move past it.
Yeah.
And people don't ask anymore. And I'm like,
And they probably never going to ask before, but you just, like, you were just trying to, like.
felt like I needed to explain it.
Yeah. You're just like, no.
No.
And that's okay.
Yeah. The answer's no.
Like, with this engagement party, like, some people are asking, can I bring plus ones? And mind you, in the FAQs, it says if you have a plus one, it'll be on the invite. And somebody asked a month and a half before. I said, no. And me last year would have been like, well, I mean, maybe.
You know, the way our catering's set up.
Like just over explaining. I said, no, I've only met him 1 or 2 times and in passing. So I don't want any strangers. And I thought about doing a whole paragraph, and I just said, no, I've only met him 1 or 2 times. Next time, maybe. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's that. There's no anything set in stone. Like at the end of the day, we put our money down, paying photographers, paying for caterers. I don't want strangers eating my food and my strangers in my photos. It's long term. Yeah, that's just what
fair.
it is.
It's your celebration. It can be what you want.
It could be what I
Right.
want, and it will be what I want.
Like,
Like
maybe next time. Ain't no,
Even
it's not no
then.
next time. This is it.
No,
This is the end.
this is the end. Oh my gosh. Like, well, to get into your podcast, Balanced Black Girl, beautiful, love, very therapeutic, very calm. I'm like, how can she talk for an hour? Just all the good gems. Like you're throwing gems. I'm like, do you do an outline? Like, how do you podcast? And back to back to back.
Sometimes I just black out and be saying stuff because people will DM me all the time. Remember when you said, I'm like, I don't
Who said
remember, but
that?
I'm so glad you enjoy. Yeah, who said that? All the time. People are like, in this episode in 2019, you said, I'm like, I don't know her. But also
Girl.
sometimes it'll happen in the episode I just released because it's not for me, it's for other people. So sometimes I just be saying stuff.
Yeah,
But I
for
do
sure.
usually have an objective
Yeah.
or a point to each episode where it's like, this is what I want whoever listening to walk away from this episode getting. This is the point.
Yeah.
Every episode has a point where it's like, here's the takeaway, whether it is like a mindset shift or a tip or a perspective or information. So there's always like a point to it. And then usually when I'm recording, I just kind of let it flow and we get there how we get there.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like, I mean, you've had a lot of episodes. We barely hit 100 and we're like, oh my God, we're trying to figure out what to talk about. Like, how do you feel like you continuously revamp and keep the content fresh? And like, what do you get out of it when you're done? Because I know it can be very draining to basically have a full-time job doing talking, which is a lot of work. People wouldn't think that is. But like, how do you kind of keep it fresh and exciting?
I feel like it's really easy to do with interviews, like with guests.
Oh,
that's easy because it's like every person is totally different. Even if I have a guest who maybe is speaking about a similar topic, let's use like money as an example. I've had a lot of episodes about money, or friendship is another example. I've done quite a few episodes about friendship, but each guest is going to have a different perspective or a different flavor or a different level of expertise where it feels fresh and new. So interviewing people makes it very easy for it to stay fresh and different because everybody has a different story. Solo episodes is a little bit harder. A lot of it just comes like I will just be walking down the street and then I'll think, oh, that's a good idea for a piece of content.
Right,
or maybe I will, have a post. Like, for example, I recently did an episode called How to Start Over in Your 30s.
Yes.
That episode came from a TikTok that I did earlier this year where I talked about my experience starting over in my 30s because the week after I turned 30, I moved to LA and like everything in my life has changed ever since then. And I left my hometown for the first time and it was like this whole big thing. So I made a TikTok that was maybe 50 seconds talking about that. And people had all these questions and they wanted to expand more. And so I was like, okay, there's an appetite here for that to be a podcast episode. So sometimes I will test things on social media. Like if I talk about this topic, will the girlies bite? And if they do, then I'm like, okay, maybe I can expand on this a little bit more on the podcast.
Yeah. Will the girlies bite?
Yeah.
Because there's been stuff that we think is like, oh, this is a really good topic. And then we're like, oh, that did not do that well. Like
sometimes you also never know. Because also sometimes it'll be the random episodes that I think are not that great that people love. And so
I'm like, whatever y'all got. Yeah.
It's
above me at this point.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to put it out and we're going to see. And we know we put our best foot forward in all the episodes. Like that in my heart of hearts, I know, like, even when we started this podcast, when you were in Vegas, I was in Phoenix on our phone.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like
the first 3 episodes, we had to re-record. I think about the first one, we had to record 3 times because we were on an app and we didn't have D&D on. So like our families would call us and it would just mess the whole recording up. Yeah. So by the 3rd take, I'm just fake laughing because I hadn't heard these jokes 3 times already. Like like it's just very rehearsed. And now it's like we're in a studio.
Yes.
Figured out how to kind of
relax
a little bit, let it come naturally. We've had a lot of curveballs this week and we're rolling with the punches.
Ooh, if these curveballs that happened this week happen even season 5.
Shoot.
Oh,
I can't even tell you what year that was.
I don't know. I probably would have flown back to Denver. Like, okay.
Yeah, pack it up.
No,
cancel the rest of the dates.
No, literally, like I don't even care. But now I think we're getting into our carefree era.
Yeah. Oh, it feels so good. You just made me so excited this episode.
No,
but when you said we'll calm down, I said, thank
perfect.
God. The way this
you can't spend your whole life as anxious as you physically can't do it. You just reach a point where you physically can't do it.
Yeah. No,
just stop worried about other
your
people.
body will shut down and make you sit down.
Sit down. Yeah. Because you're just stressing for no reason. Like Inside Out 2, I'm trying to tell y'all.
Oh, I still got to watch it.
Moms, that little
I'm going to do a double feature.
Yeah.
I've been kind of getting into horror movies recently, which I never used to like. But like I saw one and I was like, I'm a little intrigued. And usually I'll read the synopsis online because I'm like, I want to know how it ends, but I don't want to see the scary stuff. But I was like, let me take a gander and go. But I'm gonna it's called Long Legs. Already the title. I know. I'm like, shoot,
about like spiders
outside.
What is that?
No, it's it's more of like a serial killer documentary. I don't play with demons. Worse. So I'm like, I don't do no demon stuff. So all the scary movies I feel like are demon stuff.
Very, very demons. Everybody crawling.
Right.
Hair, yeah.
Heads
like
turning.
Any of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like, yeah, you can't bring that in my household. And I never watched no scary movie because of that. But I'm like, this one seems like
they
more of a documentary.
Like,
I don't know.
The heart rate of people watching that is high.
No.
When I tell you I'm gonna have nightmares.
Okay, never mind.
Can't have that
I'm just watching Inside Out.
Yeah.
It was gonna be that movie and then Inside Out. So I had a palate cleanser, but now it's just giving
Inside Out 2
and Bad Boys 4.
Balance, very much. There's some guns, but
I can handle that.
I can handle some guns. Yeah, the what is it? The little anxiety baby. She's not a baby, but anybody who's younger than me is a baby. That little orange anxiety baby, like that movie.
Wait, with the hair?
With the hair.
Oh, yes,
little baby.
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
I empathize so much with that baby. I was like, yeah, when I was 13, I think that is honestly when my anxiety really
Oh
came
my
in.
God.
When I tell you all those emotions came in and tore everything up. And honestly, between 13 and my period, I think they came right around the same time. I was like, I had tacos and I said, Mom, I think the tacos are bad.
Oh, I crashed out the first time I got my period.
Oh,
Real bad. I was so scared. I didn't even ask my mom for pads or nothing. I said, we're just going to figure this out, Tanasia. I was such a no, I can't stress nobody out. I don't know what's going on. I thought I didn't really understand it. And I was just like, yeah, I'm in the bathroom just making tissues. Just guessing.
Yeah. Did it happen at school or at
Yeah.
home? Oh, at school.
Yeah. And I remember my mom was working that night. And I was like, I can't tell my dad. He don't know what this is about. Like, there's no way he knows what a period is.
Yeah.
Like, my friend had told me. Because I came back to the classroom and she was just like, what's wrong? And I was like, girl, it's some crazy shit going on up in there. I was like, I don't know what then happened, but something's wrong. She had hers for years. She's like, no, it's okay. Like, just tell your mom when you get home. And I went home. My mom was like, okay. Like, we were like ships passing because she would work nights. So it was like I would get home from school and then she would be getting ready to leave. And she worked 12-hour shifts. So I was like, oh, I can't tell her. And I just toughed it out for like 2 days until she was off.
With cramps too?
I didn't have cramps at that point.
Okay.
I think the cramps kicked in when I was like 18-ish.
Oh,
I started getting
wow.
bad cramps. Yeah, I never had cramps as like when I was younger. But for some reason, when I turned 18, they were like, yeah, we're here.
I was like, the tacos did a number on me. I ain't never
She
seen
said,
it.
I'm never eating Taco Bell again.
And mind you, know, they were like they were black tacos, so fried the corn tortilla, the whole
Right.
nine. I'm like, maybe it was the sour cream. Like
That guac.
I just don't know. And my mom was like, oh baby, okay, here, this is how you open a pad, and I'm
like, bro, what are you talking about?
Open
I was like, I'm
tab.
already stressed.
No,
One Direction just broke up. Like, you doing too much. Like, I'm over it.
oh my gosh. Oh, okay, so
Uh,
if you could go back and tell you like your current age, go back to your 25-year-old self, what like top 3 things would you tell her?
Leave her hometown sooner. So
Mm.
move sooner.
Yes.
Leave sooner, I think, is just probably the blanket advice. Leave the city sooner, leave the job sooner, leave the man sooner, stay gone. All of it. Leave sooner, stay gone would be one thing. Let's see. What else? Lean into creativity a little bit more and worry less about the end result and being perfect. And then I would also tell her, like, good job, because there were also some things that my mid-20s self did where I was really looking out for my older self. That was when I really got serious about adopting some good habits. That was when my workouts were really on point and I adopted those habits. That was when my money management was really on point and I started making really good progress in, paying off my student loans and all those things that I'm so grateful now to have those habits and to have that done. It was really from what I had started doing at that age. So I would say leave sooner, stay gone, embrace your creativity, and those good things that you're doing, keep them up.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Especially stay gone. That's the hard
Stay
part.
gone.
Especially when you get so
We love to
attached
leave, and we don't be
things.
staying gone, though.
Yeah. Spinning the
Spin the
block.
block, yeah.
No more, none of that.
Yeah.
You can spin the block. I'm not going to be out there, though. So
Right.
the block is going to be empty if you're waiting for me to be out there.
I'm a whole different
to
block.
spin it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm
blocks away.
a whole different city.
Yeah.
We're
Oh my-
gone.
When
Oh my
what
gosh.
was that one thing that was like clicked in your head, like I gotta go when you turned 30? Like I gotta move to LA.
Yeah, it was when I was 29, going into New Year's Eve, going into the year that I was going to be turning 30. I was like, I'm about to start a whole new decade and I'm still the same place that I was at, just doing the same stuff that I was doing before. Do I want to spend this next decade in the same place doing the same stuff that I was doing before? If the answer is no, you got to get up and you got to figure something out right now. Immediately.
That's the sense of urgency.
Immediately. And so from that point, I had about 8 months to figure it out until, my lease ended right like a week after my birthday. That was in December. All of that was happening at the end of August, and we got 8 months. I don't know what's going to shake, but 8 months is plenty of time to figure something out. And in the episode that I just released, How to Start Over in Your 30s, I go into detail about what happened in that 8 months and how I navigated that and how it all kind of came together. But it really started with the decision of we're going to get up and we're going to do something about it. And I don't know what something is, but we're going to take steps, any step that I can take in that direction. And things just started moving.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is such a good episode.
Yeah.
I'm eating this up.
Yeah, no, literally. I can't wait to look back. Honestly, I love when we have guests on because I'm like, oh, I know this is the one I'm gonna
Oh,
listen
we
back
do.
on.
I know. I literally will listen back and take. I'll mute myself when I'm talking because I hate hearing my own voice, and I'll be like, let me write down the gems that she said because I
Yeah.
need to hear that.
Yeah, we have a lot of gym episodes. Like we have Dr. Macon that came on for the online EPS, and she was lit. I was like, oh, I'm listening back to this one for,
No,
real.
for real.
Like I'm not even looking at
These are
Dropbox.
things we need to hear.
Yeah, it was really good. But you look really good. Like 30s isn't old, but you look really good to be in your 30s. Like 'cause I know some people just look like expired milk. So
Listen, I've learned from TikTok this week, we don't make any statements about how
Oh.
old we think we look.
Oh my gosh,
I say nothing.
So many of those.
I say
clips.
nothing. I don't need
cause what?
They've been tearing the girlies up.
tearing them up, and I just don't even need to open up that can of worms. I look how I look. It is what it is.
What's
the thing
like
is,
a-
People-
I honestly thought you were in your 20s.
Yeah, like
Well,
what's
thank you.
I honestly want to know like what's a really good wellness tip that you feel like kind of changed your life? Like if you could live without anything, what would it be?
I mean, I think probably the two things that have made the biggest difference in my life would be one, strength training. So I started lifting weights
Oh.
when I was about 22. That
Yeah.
was when I
Yeah.
started getting serious about lifting weights.
Mhm.
And I think that has been crucial in my life, not only like looks wise, but like mentally, it really helped me believe in myself. It helped me develop discipline,
Yeah.
all things that I'm like, I would not have Balanced Black Girl if I would not have learned how to start lifting weights when I was 22. It really built
Wow.
that foundation of confidence, discipline, being willing to try things, mental agility that I need to do what I'm doing now. And then there are physical benefits. Like I do think it has helped me physically where, I have been able to maintain certain things because having muscle is just really, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've also been a sunscreen girly from an early age. I mean,
Oh, yes.
I loved reading magazines when I was little, and I remember being maybe like 11 or 12 reading in a magazine like if you wear sunscreen, it will prevent wrinkles. And when I was 12, I was like, sign me up. And so I,
SPF.
took my little money on the next family trip to Walmart and got some SPF and have been wearing it daily ever since.
Wow.
And
Wow,
so
that's amazing.
those are probably the two things.
Oh my gosh. No, I saw a picture on Twitter of like someone that was like, okay, this woman wore sunscreen only on her face, not her neck, for 30
The
years.
difference
And the
is
difference, I went out that day to Target. I said, what's the highest SPF I can get? We need to lock in right now.
And SPF is way better now because even back then it didn't really work for melanated skin. It had a cast, and I didn't care. I still had a white cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't care. Didn't care. But it's great now. Now there's so many different options that we can use. But
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love the point about like strength training too, because I started lifting weights. Well, my dad was a bodybuilder. So he would, anytime I would go to the gym with him, he's like training me. And I'm like, what am I training for?
Yeah.
Like, I just
Life,
need to
girl.
look.
Life.
Yeah. I'm like, I just want to look cute. Like, I don't want to, be training for the Olympics. But like, I started like lifting weights, I want to say like the end of last year. And I had to just go on TikTok and look at like how to do things. And I don't know. I feel like it's really hard because like you have to really learn your body and discipline. And I'm like, I can't do this Bulgarian split squat. I don't know how to do it. I'm literally, my legs are shaking, but I'm gonna get through it.
it is. I mean, and I think I've been thinking through like ideas that I have for different resources for strength training for people because I think a lot of the girlies are like, well, just tell me what workout to do. And I'm like, actually, there's a lot of education that you need even before that.
Yeah.
So I can, first of all, there's thousands of free workouts on YouTube that you could just look up and do.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand why you should be strength training, how it should feel, what's happening in your body, just following a workout or just having someone tell you what to do when you don't understand why or really how is not going to be helpful. But I do think that like that education piece of when we learn how to move through the wobbles and we experiment with, okay, what weight is good enough? It's kind of like a little Goldilocks process. Like those things that we're learning, that is actually the biggest benefit. That is where we get the mental benefit. And that's an important part of the process.
I'm not gonna lie, at first I was just freestyling. I was just going to the gym, just picking up whatever. Like, okay, maybe this will work. And I'm like, girl, we need to get a regimen down because you're just guessing.
Very much guessing. I think for me, why I freestyle in the gym is I control so much of my life outside of the gym. Cooking in the gym is when I freestyle. So I'd be like, maybe we'll do 30 minutes of the treadmill. Maybe I'll do like a little 8-pounder. That one thing I saw on TikTok that I bookmarked that I remembered. It's that remembering of the TikTok when you're in the gym.
I be in the gym in the folder like, what did she say?
What was she doing? Let me read. Okay, I'm not doing it all the way like that, but I'll do half. Yeah. I definitely need to get on a regimen, but there's so much life. The gym is not the priority right now. I was just trying to eat. Well, what's for dinner?
I've been
That's-
trying to do Pilates has been my
Yeah.
thing because I'm like I can do
Pilates
a
is
guided
great.
experience. I love Pilates.
Yes.
I'm a solid core girl now. Like
Mhm.
Shout out to you.
Eat
Solid
it
core is
up.
great strength training.
Yeah.
I would argue, not to be a fitness nerd, I would argue solid core is more strength training than Pilates. This
Yeah.
is where I get into fitness nerd territory because I'm like, solid core is not
No.
Pilates. And the difference is important. Solid core is more strength training, but we love solid core.
Yeah, I realized that the first session.
Yep.
This is not Pilates. I literally passed out and I had to
Mhm.
excuse myself out the room and then come back. And I said, I'm so sorry. And she was like, yeah, this isn't really Pilates. I said,
Oh,
yeah.
The core gets
who are you
solid.
telling?
The
Yeah.
core gets solid in that class. It's always humbling.
Yeah, no, I've left out limping.
Shaking. Yep.
Sick. Actually sick work.
No, literally.
But I think we can give her.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I think it's time.
Yeah, I think it's time.
So we have something for you.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we can start with this one.
Oh.
We always want to give our guests
Oh
their
my
flowers.
gosh. That's
Yes,
so
we wanna give her flowers. We
nice.
tried to find blue because you have blue and green in your outline,
Oh,
and so
yes.
we got green.
Thank
So-
you. Thank
and
you
white.
so much.
Of course,
So nice. Thank you.
And then this is a candle.
Oh.
Let me. There we go. This is a candle.
Love a
that says
candle.
light while listening to Taipei Black Girls. So
Love.
here we go.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, of
Thank
course.
you. Thank
Thank you
so
for coming on. Like, this
much.
was a very last minute thing. We really appreciate you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be
Yes.
here. I had such a good time.
Yeah, this
Aw,
is beautiful. Yeah, I had a grand time.
No,
it
for
felt
real.
it felt very like we talking to our sister like
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've never had a bigger sister.
We've
That's
never
kinda
had a
what
bigger
that
sister.
feels
I'm
like.
you in 10 years.
Oh, thank God.
Period.
Yes.
Okay, period.
We made it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
This was great.
Yeah,
I
I,
really
hope
did
the
enjoy
girlies
this.
took a lot from this. I bet they did.
I know
but
they did.
Yeah, but
Calm down.
That's
That-
the biggest
relax,
thing.
relax.
That is the biggest thing. That thing that you are. There's only a couple of things where it's like, okay, that is going to be life altering. Where it's like, if you either create a life or end one, those are the big ones.
Big,
Everything
yeah.
outside of that is figure outable. So if it's not one of those two things, you're good.
You made
You're
it.
good.
Create
And then if it is one of those two things, then figure out what you're gonna do from there. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
outside of those two things,
Yeah.
everything else is figure outable.
Wow. That
We needed to hear that.
no, for real. As long as that pregnancy test says one line instead of
Listen,
two,
As long as it's nothing permanent, and that is,
Yeah.
then you're good.
you're good.
Everything else is
And a
figure
lot of
outable.
things I realize in life aren't even permanent.
They're not.
Yeah.
Most things are temporary.
Yeah.
So
Yay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, this is real relaxing.
No, literally.
Yeah.
This is like therapy.
Very therapeutic.
gosh.
yeah.
But thank you again so much for coming on.
Yes,
The
thank you for
girlies, of
having
course,
me.
make sure you're tapped in with Balanced Black Girl. We'll have all her information in the description as well. And yeah, guys, we'll see you guys next season.
Yeah, next season.
For us.
Yeah. Okay. Love y'all.
Bye.